Merciful God, as we enter this Holy Week, we turn our hearts again to Jerusalem, to the life and death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, that, united with Christ and all the faithful, we may one day enter in triumph the city not made with hands, the New Jerusalem, eternal in the heaven, where with you and the Holy Spirit Christ lives in glory forever. Christianity is on the nose these days. It's the donkey's fault. Our good news is bad news. It's the donkey's fault. We stink in the nostrils of the world. It's the donkey's fault. When I was a boy, I spent a lot of my time with donkeys. They ran wild all over the little island in the South Atlantic Ocean where I lived. I chased them, caught them, rode them. I scrutinized, studied, loved them. I was always scrabbling up onto their backs, my nose rubbing into their dry, scurfy skin. Their distinctive smell, as I recall this, rushes straight back to my nostalgic nose. I hear again their mad, unmusical bellowing in the mating season, and I recall their strange love-making habits. It provided me with my first sex education. With my brother and several friends, I was a cowboy when I rode them, toy pistol in my holster, 10-gallon hat on my head, imagination running wild. So I'm a donkey man. A donkey dill, a donkey dolt, a donkey dunce, a donkey dude. I know donkeys. I'm a bit of a donkey myself. If I blame the donkey, take me seriously. I know what I'm talking about. It's the donkey's fault. There has to be something really, really odd and shonky about a hero, an exemplar, a role model, a messiah who rides a confounded donkey. They're fine for little boys to play cowboys on because little boys imagine them to be horses. But real heroes, real cowboys don't ride donkeys. So if our good news is bad news, if few people these days respect Christianity, if we stink in the nostrils of the world, the donkey will have something to do with it. It's the donkey's fault. Celebrity in those days and in these days doesn't do donkeys. Our hero, our exemplar, our role model, Messiah, Christ, dreamed and drifted to his denouement on a donkey. Something real heroes don't do, wouldn't do, shouldn't do. Our hero was suspect then, dubious. The donkey gives him away. It was a criminal in waiting, sitting on that there donkey, a lawbreaker from Nazareth, of all miserable towns, a fellow who violated the Sabbath law, who mixed with enemies, traitors, adulterers and ratbags, who suggested, taught and expected people to accept that God loved, approved, favoured such ratbags, who advised people to seek out such company rather than shun it, advised people to love such people, turn the other cheek, forgive them, as well as Samaritans, Romans, enemies even. He appeared too to give not a fig for possessions, security, wealth. He talked about taking up the cross, suggesting to one poor fellow that he should give all he had to the poor, and what is more, claimed the poor to be blessed. Even his family came second, or third, or fourth. He didn't find time for a spouse, married life, having kiddywinks. He turned his back on the comforts of hearth and home. Only a radical like this would have the insight and daring do to choose a donkey as the most appropriate and very best vehicle to express love's majesty, love's authority, love's power and might. The donkey symbolises his radicalness and unacceptability. It is the donkey's fault. If our good news is bad news, if we stink in the nostrils of the world, it's the donkey's fault, and the donkey on a donkey's fault. But then perhaps not entirely. People might just come to admire the radical Jesus if we, his followers, were more like him. The trouble is, people don't smell a donkey when they come near us. They smell a rat. We claim to be like Jesus, but aren't. How radical are you? How radical am I? Do we love our enemies? Do we give lashings away to the poor? Do we turn the other cheek, walk the second mile, take up a real cross and sacrifice ourselves for others? We don't live Jesus of Nazareth. We don't shock and attract as he did. Oh, that we did. Oh, that we did, that I did. How I long to be radical, just like him. Instead, I'm more a donkey than I am Jesus. And it's the donkey's fault. This shonky donkey's fault, who's me. So it is that this week is Holy Week, and I'm going to walk the way of the cross. Even if our churches are closed, I'm going to listen to Bach's St. Matthew Passion, all of it, every note. I'm going to read the Passion narratives, think, relive, reimagine the story. I'm going to watch with Jesus on Maundy Thursday night, admire him, love him, trusting that more of him will rub off on me, and that my own shonky donkey he-haws will transpose into authentic, if shocking, beautiful, if shocking, hosannas, hosannas, hosannas.